Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization. Locked on Big 12 and right here on the Drake Toll Show. Live for the next 3 hours on Sirius XM 375. That Westwood One Sports app and the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel. Addie Bates produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board. And the Maxx Crosby era of Las Vegas Raiders football needs to be over today. It's time. I'm good. I've seen enough. I've had enough. It is time. The Las Vegas Raiders finally trade Maxx Crosby. Over the weekend, the official fallout happened. And I say official fallout. This isn't even close to the first domino that means that Maxx Crosby, one of the NFL's best pass rushers, needs to go. One of the initial pivotal cornerstone dominoes was just a couple of months ago, where the Raiders agreed to a trade that would send Maxx Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm sure you're wondering, why is Maxx Crosby still a member of the Las Vegas Raiders if the two agreed to a trade? Well, that's a very good question. It's an astute observation. It is the Drake Toll Show, 310-840-4910. Your question, what you need to answer, what I want you to ponder for the next 12 minutes of pontificating is whether or not you would take Maxx Crosby. I'm going to give you a list of the controversies that Crosby's been involved with. I'm going to give you a list, the timeline that Crosby's been a part of as a member of the Raiders. I'm going to give you a list of Crosby's accolades, the former fourth rounder in 2019 out of Eastern Michigan. I want to know, would you take Maxx Crosby for your NFL franchise? The Detroit Lions, the Dallas Cowboys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you want Maxx Crosby? 310-840-4910. It is the Drake Toll Show. Let's go back. 2019, Maxx Crosby's drafted out of Eastern Michigan to the Oakland Raiders in the fourth round. Since then, he's become a stalwart of the National Football League defensively. Crosby, when it comes to rushing the quarterback, there are few better. He is currently one of the NFL's most dominant and feared defensive stalwarts. That's the word that I'll use for him. Can I take you back to his rookie season, 10 sacks? That was in 2019. 7 sacks, 8 sacks the 2 seasons following, and then he blows onto the scene in the National Football League, 12 and a half in 2022, 14 and a half sacks in 2023. And all of a sudden, Maxx Crosby starts garnering the double team. We've got to stop Maxx Crosby. If there's one problem in the middle of all this, it's that Crosby plays for the Raiders, and the Raiders kind of suck, and they have done sucked. They've been sucking, even with Pete Carroll as their head coach this time last year. Crosby was one of the few things the Raiders had going for them, and it all came to a head at the end of last football season, when after a vaguely injury-ridden 2024, production wasn't quite as solid. 2025, he's right back into form. He's just as dominant. 10 sacks in just 15 games. The Raiders decided the last 2 games of 2025 to bench Maxx Crosby. We're done. We don't need him out there. Our season's over. Why would we risk getting him hurt when he's a valuable trade piece? Why would we risk getting him hurt when he could be a valuable rebuild piece if we decide with new head coach Klint Kubiak to keep hold of Crosby and try to compete with Maxx in the fold? So they bench in the last 2 games. Crosby goes nuclear. Public, he says, I don't like this. I'm not here to sit. I'm not here to be benched for the last 2 games of your football season just because you can't contend. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm not here to sit the pine for 2 complete games just because you don't want me to get hurt so that you can trade me. Just do it. Finish the job. And the Raiders did. They traded Maxx Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens. I remember where I was sitting. I'm at the dinner table. I've just taken a ribeye off of the Blackstone and set it on the table. When I get the notification, ESPN, per Adam Schefter, the Las Vegas Raiders are trading Maxx Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens. This now makes Baltimore one of the most prominent defenses in the AFC, and I jump from the table, and I run out here to my electric shed where things plugged in, the microphones and stuff, to try to communicate to the world what this means to the National Football League. Within 4 days of that going down, it all falls through. It's one of those remember where you are and then remember where you are the second time it happens. Because it all falls through due to a failed physical where doctors in Baltimore said, no, Crosby's knee he's not good to go. And the Raiders said, well, we told you that Crosby is dealing with knee issues. We opened the trade rumors, and anybody who asked with Crosby has knee issues, you're just going to void, we're going to void the trade. We can't do this. So now a player who for days believed he was being traded to the Baltimore Ravens. He's already bought the hat. He's got the shirt. He's ready to go. Hey, pack the house up, baby. We're moving to Baltimore. That guy who's been traded by a franchise now gets stuck with a franchise. And not just any franchise, but the Las Vegas Raiders. Would you take Maxx Crosby? 310-840-4910. He wades through this offseason with cryptic tweets and a couple things along the lines of, I'm a proud Raider. I want to be here. This is my home. This is my place. These are my people. How frustrating would it be for you if you're working in Kenosha, Wisconsin? No shade on Kenosha. It's a fine city. If you're working in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and your boss comes to you and says, hey, man, sorry, we are actually transferring you to our corporate office in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Hey, look, I'm in. Kenosha's got some really good fishing. Kenosha's great during like 2 weeks out of the summer. Outside of that, catch me in Fort Lauderdale. Send me to the tropical southeast. Maxx Crosby can go from a dump of a franchise in the Las Vegas Raiders to the Baltimore Ravens, who want to compete now, who want to win now, who have Lamar Jackson as their quarterback, who have Super Bowl aspirations. The Raiders aren't even close to that. So if you're a competitor like Maxx Crosby and you want to win and you want to win in your prime, you don't want to be in Las Vegas. But when the deal falls through, he plays nice, he puts on a happy face, and he says to the media, I'm a Raider, I'm happy to be here, I want to be here. So why is that news today? I'll ask you again, do you want, as a part of your favorite NFL franchise, would you take Maxx Crosby? 310-840-4910. The phone line and text line is open. It comes to a head on Friday. When in the afternoon practice, Maxx Crosby and Kirk Cousins, the starting quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders, get into a tiff. How does that make any sense? Kirk Cousins has become the starting quarterback. I mean, this sentence 6 months ago blows my mind, because 6 months ago I think Maxx Crosby is traded, and why is Kirk Cousins the starting quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders? Well, Klint Kubiak and company have decided, despite drafting Fernando Mendoza first overall in the NFL draft in April, they want Cousins to be the guy. He is the bridge for the franchise before they get a franchise player in Fernando Mendoza. So Cousins is out there taking reps with the ones, playing against the ones on defense. And that's when the whole thing goes wrong. It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app talking Maxx Crosby with the Las Vegas Raiders and his tenure there soon expiring. At least that is the opinion of yours truly. During 11-on-11 team drills, it happened. Crosby blows into the backfield from his edge position and makes heavy contact. He hits Kirk Cousins on the throwing arm and tips a pass for an incompletion. Ho, ho, ho! Hey, what the hell was that? Kirk Cousins has the red vest on. He's the quarterback. You are all-pro, all-star defensive line. You, Maxx Crosby, just blew through here and hit the quarterback at training camp. The big no-no, the thing you can't do, you hit the quarterback. After that, Crosby said, well, if you didn't like that one, you really won't like this. He did it again. The veteran. The guy who's been in Las Vegas since 2019, the player the other guys are supposed to look up to and say, hey, that's a guy who got traded in the offseason. The trade was voided due to the injury concerns by the Baltimore Ravens. He's supposed to lead the way. And then that guy is knocking the quarterback down at spring training? Yep. And what it becomes is a chest-to-chest, hand-to-hand shouting match. The team had to run in and separate Maxx Crosby and Kirk Cousins. I can only imagine Crosby's yelling all the vulgarities you can picture. I mean, just take every swear word possible and kind of throw it in the vernacular of Maxx Crosby. He's giving him the MF for this, the MF for that. He's dropping some words that you probably don't want to use on a Monday morning. Happy back to school, everybody. Kirk Cousins on the other side, he's the notable nerd. Like if you've watched the quarterback documentary on Netflix or HBO or Prime, whichever one it's on, Kirk Cousins is the guy who opens the show with, "Hey guys, yeah, it's me, Kurt. I'm excited to play football today. It's gonna be a real fun one." That's the guy who's in a fight with Maxx Crosby, like this notable, strong guy, tough guy, Max. Like, "Hey Max, if you could just not hit me, man, I'd really appreciate that. What'd you say to me?" And now the two are face to face. The team pulling them back. They are both sent to the penalty box. Just timeout. Hey, that sandbox over there. Go sit. First-year head coach Klint Kubiak has to deal with this. Not only are you a first-year head coach in the National Football League, you're a first-year head coach with the Raiders. And because fighting violates team rules, risks the health of key players, which I guess hitting the quarterback during spring training doesn't risk the health of key players to put a stop to this, but the fighting did. Kubiak held Cousins and Crosby out of team drills for Saturday. And that left one man, one name to start at quarterback this weekend for the Las Vegas Raiders. Fernando. As Fernando Mendoza, the number one overall pick, got to run the first team offense for the day. It's like when you were in kindergarten. They let you be the line leader. And you knew it. You knew it. September 19th is my line leader day. I get to lead everybody. For one day, Fernando Mendoza gets to run first team offense. And the Heisman winner can get valuable reps as a starter. Valuable reps with starters like Brock Bowers. Now, there are two ways to practice. Coaches have talked to Crosby at training camp about dialing back his aggressiveness. Hey, maybe we don't hit the quarterback. Especially as you yourself, Maxx Crosby, are working back from knee surgery. That same knee surgery is what voided his trade to the Baltimore Ravens. Crosby has said, and I quote, "I acknowledge his extreme style by saying, I know that I push the line, and sometimes I go over the line." Do you want Maxx Crosby? 310-840-4910. Because I think this moment has boiled over to the point that Maxx Crosby is no longer a valuable piece of the Raiders. Whether it's the locker room or on the field, he's no longer a valuable piece of the Raiders who already tried to trade him. Crosby doesn't need to be there anymore. He doesn't need to be inside the pressure cooker. He needs to be in Chicago with the Bears. He needs to be in Dallas with the Cowboys. He needs to be in Detroit with the Lions. A homecoming to Detroit. Or a Dallas Cowboys. But Jerry Jones has called out Crosby by name during training camp in 2026. Hey, if that's an opportunity for us, we're going to approach that. We're going to consider that for sure. But would you take Maxx Crosby? 310-840-4910, given this string of controversy, like fighting the quarterback at training camp. Let's take you to training camp, where it is beyond me. It makes no sense. The last time the Raiders had media was on August 7th, and you would think any reporter in the room would ask Klint Kubiak, the head coach. You would think one of them would ask the head coach, "Hey, how about that fight between Maxx Crosby and Kirk Cousins? Probably want to put an end to that, right? That's probably not a good thing." Instead, nope, just didn't get asked the question. Instead, Michael Mayer, the 25-year-old tight end, was the only player for the Las Vegas guy who caught for like 324 yards last year, was the only player at media, player or coach, who was asked about the fight between Crosby and Cousins. Let's take you to the little-known Michael Mayer, the Raiders tight end, on two veterans going at it.
Yeah, it's energy, man. It's energy. We don't want to be throwing punches, but, I think on any padded day of camp, there's going to be some, there's going to be some tuffles. And, that's our starting quarterback right now. And you want him to defend your team. And you want him to have some edge to him, which he does. He's always had. Since the first day I met him when he came in here. So it's all, I don't want him getting thrown out. I don't want him getting a flag, nothing like that. But you got to be able to defend yourself.
That's funny. He doesn't mention Crosby being a leader, being a veteran, Crosby being the face, the voice of the team. He says, that's my starting quarterback. That's the voice of our team. That's the guy who's got to stand up for himself and fight. Even the players are taking the side of Kirk Cousins, who walked through the facility doors 4 months ago. Maxx Crosby's tenure with the Raiders is over. Trade him already. The Raiders see a problem. Crosby obviously sees a problem. It's time to go. That guy tackled your quarterback twice in spring training. It's time to go. The Dallas Cowboys, the Detroit Lions, open arms. The Chicago Bears, who need one big defensive piece, who miss a pivotal pass rush piece from being a contender. Those teams need a Maxx Crosby. They'll take him off your hands. 310-840-4910. Would you take Maxx Crosby? Let's go to a former Dallas Cowboy, Jesse Holley, and ask him that same question. A guy who went through numerous training camps, has seen these kind of scuffles. Is this the end of Crosby's term as a Las Vegas Raider? It's Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910. Jesse Holley, when we come back. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Take a step back, take a look at your life, hug your children, kiss your wife, know your neighbor, leave the keys in your truck, do yourself a favor, try your luck. Take a step back, take a step back, take a step back, take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at, take a step back. Take a step back to the way it was when people were crazy. Love was enough. A little more old soul, a little more lay low. Give me just a little more of your heart. I said ready, set, start. Take a step back, take a step back, take a step back, take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. No more tomorrows, no more today got away from it. Come on, bring it on home. 1, 2, 3, take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. You know it. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. 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 Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. Everybody stop. Yes, sir. Take a step back. Take a step back, take a look at your life, hug your children, kiss your wife, know your neighbor, leave the keys in your truck, do yourself a favor, try your luck. Take a step back, take a step back, take a step back, take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at, take a step back. Take a step back to the way it was when people were crazy. Love was enough. A little more old soul, a little more lay low. Give me just a little more of your heart. I said ready, set, start. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. No more tomorrows. No more today got away from it. Come on, bring it on home. 1, 2, 3. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. You know it. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. 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 Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. Everybody stop where you're at. Take a step back. Everybody stop. Yes, sir. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a look at your life. Hug your children.
The Islamic Republic of Japan.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
And I was taking shots from the front and the back. Good morning. Maxx Crosby, the Las Vegas Raider, punching quarterbacks, tackling the guy with the red jersey on, robbing us of a sweet, supple training camp where everything just goes perfectly, and instead there's a new moxie in Vegas and a Maxx Crosby who needs to bring his new moxie to Dallas or Chicago, Detroit, somewhere else. This experiment's over. He was already traded to the Ravens. It falls through because of injury concern. Well, yeah, he had surgery. You knew he was injured. Well, you team doctors helped usher this into falling through, and now we're a day closer to Maxx Crosby being a Dallas Cowboy. Here is the Cowboys expert, former Cowboy himself, Jesse Holley, joins the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app. Jesse, you've seen it at training camp. When a defender is hitting the quarterback on multiple occasions, these two guys get in a scuffle, is that ever a good sign for teams at training camp?
Never. I mean, you learn this day one. Good morning as well. You learn this day one at training camp. They have the red jerseys on for a reason. It's do your work, be quick, be aggressive, but stay off the quarterback. And every now and again, I mean, when you have 270, 80-pound, 300-pound men, all around, every now and again, you just so happen to run into the quarterback. And the coach reminds you, all the coaches remind you, stay up, stay off the quarterback, stay away from the quarterback. So to do it multiple times is almost a smack in the face to the rule of the red jersey by Maxx Crosby. There may be something deeper in that whole thing between he and Cousins, what have you. But, yeah, you learn that early on. Red jersey, stay off, stay away from the quarterback, run around, stop before you get to the quarterback, don't swipe at his arm, all those things that you hear through practice, when you get into college, when you get into high school, it's stay off the quarterback.
He is Mr. Fourth and Long, Jesse Holley, joining the show. Jesse, appreciate you being up early with us this morning. And on that, if you're Maxx Crosby, really if you're the rest of the NFL watching Maxx Crosby's actions, is this just a plea for help for him to get out of Las Vegas as fast as possible?
You know what? Maxx has become this kind of this anomaly, right? This conundrum of what does he want, right? What does Maxx want? It was, he tells you on one hand that he's a Raider for life, and then He's requesting the trade behind closed doors. And then after the trade, doesn't go through because of injury, then he comes back to the Raiders and he's back on the whole Raider for life thing. And so you don't know which way Max is going, and he's putting out rap songs and all this other stuff. And so, a world of a talent, seems to be a very good dude. Don't know him personally, just off of what you see from the exterior. But for him, you get to a point in time in your career when you've made all the money and you're regarded as one of the best in the league, you want to start trying to add wins to that, right? You get to that ultimate point where now the money isn't an issue, the stardom isn't an issue anymore. It's now, how can I cement my legacy with winning, with an opportunity to compete for championships? You know that the Raiders are going through some sort of rebuilding thing there, and it may take a couple of years with the drafting of Mendoza and, Gentry the year before, and just trying to build some things. I don't know if Max wants to be a part of a rebuild, but I also don't know, at this point in time where Max would go. Well, I kind of know a good place where he could go, but you just never know with Max.
You say you know of a place he could go. Jerry Jones has been clear. When the trade talks dissipated between the Raiders and the Cowboys, it was not on the Cowboys' end that he didn't shut that door. Is it still wide open, the opportunity for Maxx Crosby, the all-pro edge rusher, to be a Dallas Cowboy?
That's what Jerry said, right? He said they didn't walk away. So did Max walk away? Part of the good thing about the Cowboys is Dr. Cooper, who is the world-renowned knee surgeon, and he's done a lot of surgeries. He's evaluated a lot of surgeries. He's not technically on the Cowboys staff, but is on the Cowboys staff. And so they have a really good insight about the knee, the likelihood of the knee giving out over time. What is the timetable? All that kind of good stuff. They have the dude, and I know that there's all these HIPAA laws and all the other kind of crazy stuff, but they have a dude in-house they can look at and say, hey, Doc, blink 2 times if the knee is going to give out. Blink 1 time if the knee is going to really hold up. They have that ability to talk to Doc on this one. But, Jerry likes to dangle that carrot. He's all about keeping the fans hope and keeping them, thinking about things that could happen. I don't know if it's going to happen in training camp. I had always posed that if there's a trade was going to happen after the whole thing of Max going to the Raiders, if that was going to happen, it's probably going to happen around sometime in November around the trade deadline.
He is Mr. Fourth and Long, Jesse Holley, joining the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports have a Dallas Cowboys alum. Jesse, again, appreciate you being up early and giving us training camp perspective. One thing, and man, you and I got to work closely together for the better part of 6 months, earlier this year, really. And we would talk a lot about these college players and the way that they approach their offseason going into the football. About this time last year, talking about players and their offseason, these offseason storylines. And I remember you saying so vividly, I'm ready for the kickoff. When's kickoff? When do we get past all the storylines and get to the actual football? I hear all these fans, my quarterback, Joe Blow, went 27 for 47 during his 2 days of 11 on 11 at training camp. Our team's cooked. How much do we overblow these off-season training camp storylines?
So much. And people don't realize the emphasis of training camp, right? It's about working the kinks out. It's about getting all those things through. It's about trying new things. It's about, incorporating a new group of guys together, maybe a new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, new players, new everything. A player gets a year older. It's like when a baseball player goes to spring training and the pitcher's like, hey, I'm working on my curve, or I'm working on my sinker. And then you look at it and he goes, he gave up 7 home runs. Well, yeah, he's working on a new pitch, so he's trying to find the grip. He's trying to find the right arm motion, the leg swing, all those type of things. The batter may have taken a new, different approach to the thing, so he's not hitting as well. So it's all of those things that happen in training camp that you're trying to get, worked out. I remember for a long time, Dak Prescott was a horrible practice player. Everyone you watch in practice, you're like, this dude can't play a lick. Lights come on, get in the game, and he's tearing people's butt up. So it's overblown. Everybody wants to have stats and for the content of social media. But, you want to go to practice to work on things, to work out the kinks. Tell me when the game started, if this guy can play or not.
Jesse, on that, I'm going to take you to a name that you never could have imagined would be brought up this morning. A guy named Scotty Miller, wide receiver, Chicago Bears. And there's almost no reason to bring up Scotty Miller other than that's a guy who is notably fighting for a spot on a 53-man right now. He is not guaranteed a position in the National Football League next season, and the next 3-4 weeks of his life will hinge on whether or not this is his job in a month and a half's time. Take me into the mind of a player like that, of a guy who knows his job's on the line, and the storylines be damned. He needs preseason. He needs training camp.
Yeah, the one thing that you always want to do is you always want to kind of, you want to do things at full speed. Coaches can evaluate a player and understand, hey, the protection might have not been here for him to get the ball. The quarterback's eyes might not have been right, but did Scotty Miller run the right route? Did he win at the line of scrimmage? Do you see him finishing the play? What special teams is he on? Where does he fit out in the grand scheme of what we ultimately want to do? And then when the opportunities present themselves, whether in practice and or preseason game, did he make the play, right? Is he making contested catches? Is he going up and making a play? Those type of things that are going on through a player's mind each and every day. You want to be able to show up on film. When coaches pop on the film, do you stand out, right? The stars are going to stand out. The big guys, the big names, they're going to stand out because they're going to get the most opportunities. It's about if you're a guy who's on the bubble, and trust me, I lived on the bubble a lot of my NFL career, you want to pop. And then you want to gain what I like to call you want to gain people in the front office, sponsors. Yeah. I want to get someone in that office when they're making cuts, whether it's a receiver coach, a special teams coach, somebody that goes, hold on now, man, this guy makes plays week in and week out. A DB coach steps up and says, man, he gives my DBs hell. A special team coach like, man, he's on all 4 core special teams. He's returning. He's on punt return, kick return, kickoff return. I mean, this is a guy who we can use. And if not for the season, this is a guy that we want on our practice squad to allow him to get our guys better as we continue to develop him. That's what you want. You want to be able to flash in front of the coaches, gain yourself a sponsor, and then in these preseason games, make a play, because not only are you auditioning for your team, but you're also auditioning for 31 other teams that may see your services and say, this is a guy that we can use on our squad.
Yeah, for those of us that were born 6'4", but about $140, that's the perspective we'll never have. That's exactly what I needed from you this morning, taking me into the mind of an NFL player. He is Jesse Holley at Mr. Fourth and Long on Twitter. Jesse, last thing I got for you. Again, appreciate you being up with us. Who wins the Super Bowl? It's August. I know we're not going to hold it against you, but who wins the Super Bowl?
Well, right now, coming out of the NFC, you got to look at the Rams, right? I mean, they F them picks, and they go and they do all they can to make their squad just a phenomenal squad. And I am still not one who's given up on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I still think Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks that we've ever seen, and I don't think that their run is over. So for me right now, I got the Chiefs, and this is August. Football is fluid. I can change my mind when we get to December. But right now, I think the Chiefs will make a resurgence. I think the team to beat is the LA Rams, but ultimately with the addition of Myles Garrett, and I do believe that Aaron Donald will come back at some point down this season with Puka, with Matthew, with Devontae. I just think LA is just too good of a roster, too good of a team. Trent McDuffie on the outside. I think it's the LA Rams who hoist the Lombardi February 14th in LA.
You can find him hosting Unfiltered or Amazon Fire TV's College Football Kickoff at Mr. Fourth and Long on Twitter. He's Jesse Holley. Jesse, appreciate you. Miss you. Hope to see you soon. And enjoy when we actually play the whole football thing.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Love you guys, man. Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you soon.
That is the perspective of a guy who went through training camp with the Dallas Cowboys, who fought in training camp with the Dallas Cowboys to get a roster spot. I mean, he's the guy to ask how if you sitting at home, Daryl, you're getting ready for work, you're going to go to the gym first, that you're going to work in Des Moines, Iowa, you're listening to the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, thinking, if I wanted a career change tomorrow to be an NFL player, how could I do it? You find a sponsor somewhere in that franchise that boosts you up, and you ensure when the cut line is set that you've got the right person in your camp fighting for you. That's what Jesse Holley did with the Dallas Cowboys during his NFL career. And even better on Maxx Crosby, that it's become increasingly clear through Maxx Crosby's actions hitting the quarterback during 11-on-11 at training camp, hitting his quarterback, Kirk Cousins. It's become increasingly clear that instead of a leader, Crosby has become a headache. 310-840-4910. Would you take that head? Are you willing to accrue that headache on your NFL roster? Here's a good tweet. You can tweet at me, too. That's the beauty of modern technology at Drake C. Toll Show. Large Mick Big Huge tweets, I would gladly trade Micah Parsons for Maxx Crosby as a Packers fan. I don't even know what to think about that. I'm going to need time to process that one. I would gladly trade Micah Parsons for Maxx Crosby as a Packers fan. Would you take Maxx Crosby? 310-840-4910. Maybe even better, what would you give up for Maxx Crosby? The text line and the phone line is open the entirety of our 3 hours together. Hold on. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports. This weekend, a story came by my Twitter that blew me away. A former NBA player plans to declare for the WNBA draft. No. 2 former NBA players are declaring for the WNBA draft. How will this end? I'll tell you next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Every team, every player, every story.
former NBA players, Royce White and Enes Kanter, have declared for the WNBA draft. How the hell is that going to work? It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, and it is time for our biggest losers of the day. Let's start in the WNBA. Enes Kanter, former NBA player. Remember Utah Jazz? He spends time with the Thunder. He made his rounds around the NBA. Enes Kanter has now declared for the WNBA draft, former NBA player, saying that he is a woman, he identifies as a woman, and as such, he expects to play Jazz, Thunder, played for the Knicks for a little bit. His last time in the NBA was 2022. He expects to play the WNBA. Me over here in the corner. I don't care. Don't care. So my sister plays softball at Baylor University, and as the ascension of the WNBA climbs and more people are watching the WNBA to watch like the basketball itself, can I tell you, I'm tired of what's making me want to watch it less is the fact that the WNBA is treated like a 1998 VH1 TV show. You know, like in the early 2000s, they let Bret Michaels do Rock of Love. Rock of Love! He sang the theme song to it. And it was Bret Michaels and 30 women, a race for who got to date Bret Michaels. He gets to the end of season 1, and he looks at both of the remaining girls, and he's like, babies, here's a problem. I can't pick between one of you. I'd like y'all both to be my lovely wives. And one of the girls was like, no, I'm not going to share Bret Michaels. Rock of Love. That's what the WNBA feels like. Every time I open an article, it's not, Caitlin Clark dropped 43 points. Sophie Cunningham drops 21 in a loss. Angel Reese has 24 rebounds. Nope. It's the craziest thing you've ever heard in your entire life. Also, by the way, Article 8, Section 1A of the WNBA Collective Bargaining Agreement states, as written, quote, only players who are women are eligible to play in the WNBA. Enes Kanter or Royce White declaring for the WNBA draft probably means that the WNBA just won't respond. It's like, no. Okay. So it's written pretty plainly that only players who are women are eligible to play in the WNBA. And so that's where it ends. That's where it ends. Rock of Love. We got to the end of it. Bret Michaels picked both women, which means he can have none. You have 2 quarterbacks, you have 0. I'm good. I would like the NBA to be able, the WNBA to be able to do the thing where they can play basketball, and we talk about the basketball side, and that's it. Did that suffice? Well, if not, it gets worse. Biggest loser of the day, the Indiana Fever's head coach, Stephanie White, who after her player, Sophie Cunningham, got clocked, decked, double flagrant, to throw Dejanay Carrington out of the game for assaulting Sophie Cunningham. Here is Sophie Cunningham's coach. Like, Sophie's body's still warm. She's not even in the ground yet. Here is Sophie's head coach defending the player that decked Sophie Cunningham.
One of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul. But I also don't think that she intentionally went for the net.
Addie Bates, producer of the Drake Toll Show. Good morning. Notable ball knower. Notable ball knower. Big Arch Manning fan.
Ooh.
Really likes the Houston Astros. Addie, WNBA storylines running amok on my Twitter For You page instead of the WNBA, highlights running amok. Your thoughts? I'm going to leave it broad here for you. Your thoughts?
This is not good for the WNBA. Imagine if it's any league. If it's one of the big 4, this is not good press. This is not the PR that you want. And especially when you have a star player in Caitlin Clark and you are at her. This. Yes,
remember,
sorry.
We hate her. We forgot about that. We hate her.
Dang it. I forgot that part. But this is your time to shine. This is your time. During the summertime, you could have taken over the world, basically. Like, you have the girl. You have the person that you need. But instead, everything that we're hearing about the WNBA, I'm having friends and family, they'll just text me, hey, do you see what's going on? Do you see all this? And it's nothing but negative publicity. When they say all publicity is good publicity, that is not the truth. That is not the truth in this case. And this is the only thing that people are talking about, which is bad for the sport.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you alongside Addie Bates and Laura Jimenez. Let's keep it in our biggest losers of the day. Biggest loser of the day today. I gotta be careful with this one. This reporter, or could it be the interview subject? These two guys just going at it. Here's a fight that happened at the White House this week.
Last question for you. If Democrats do take over the House, it's just going to be investigation mania. You know, they're going to do oversight. They could impeach you again. I mean, do you think they will?
Well, a lot of people are saying I'm one of the greatest presidents ever.
They're not saying that, though.
But they know. They see the results. Look.
But they know. They see the results. Wow, that dude the reporter just threw it right back in his face? God, man. Wow. Jeez. Let's keep it in our biggest losers of the day. Adam Vinatieri was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame over the weekend and got to give a speech about, surely he's referencing footballs here, but he calls out Pat McAfee, his old running buddy, in the midst of it. Here's Adam Vinatieri.
Hey, Pat McAfee's here in the crowd today. Great to see you, brother. The only person who enjoyed holding my balls more than my wife. She held for me in the off-season when everyone else was gone. Get that right.
No.
What?
They did pan the camera to Adam Vinatieri's wife, who was laughing. Just locker room talk, just a guy joke, just a guy dude joke. That's what happens here. Addie, did this one go too far?
No, that's great. That's great. Call out Pat McAfee. That's great. Maybe it's the person. I feel like if he said that about my beloved, like Drew Brees, I'd be like, no, don't. But it's Pat McAfee, so it's great.
Yeah, I think it fit. The crime fit the bill here. My close and personal friend Pat McAfee, by the way. I'm not Pat. We're still on good terms, but it was a funny moment. Funny moment. It's the biggest losers of the day on the Drake Toll Show. Big loser, Maxx Crosby. How about this for a headline over the weekend? Maxx Crosby of the Las Vegas Raiders fought his starting quarterback. Yeah, Crosby hit Cousins' arm twice during a team period, and after the second incident, the usually mild-mannered quarterback was fed up. He charged after the star defender, grabbing his jersey and exchanging words. I imagine that went something like this. Hey, man, stay the frick off me, guy. You stay over there on your defense side. Just stop hitting me, man. I'm Kirk Cousins. I'm supposed to be the quarterback. Maxx Crosby, on the other hand, seemed frustrated with the entire Raiders organization, the same guy who was traded to the Ravens and that fell through due to medical issues. Biggest loser of the day is you, Maxx Crosby. Don't be hitting the quarterback during drills at spring training. That's Bush League. You know it's Bush League. I hate this.
I think Klint Kubiak should have pulled him after the first hit.
Yeah.
He should have sent him home then. The fact that he got 2 hits on him, that's crazy to me. That is the crazy part to me. That not after 1, it took 2, and it wasn't even that he was kicked out of practice for the day. No, it was tomorrow, and so was Kirk Cousins. That's the issue to me. What was the head coach doing?
He was a tough cookie.
He didn't hit Keaton Slovis, like just some random fourth-string kid. He didn't hit a guy to grow him up in the NFL and teach him a lesson. He hit Kirk Cousins. Like America's dad. Just the nicest guy in the world. And Maxx Crosby's out there.
A golden retriever.
And a little bit of sick it to him.
Slams the guy. I can't stand for this. And I think Maxx Crosby is doing everything he can to be an even bigger cancer in the locker room to eventually get traded away from the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh no. Your punishment for being a cancer is to not have to play for the Raiders anymore. No. What?
Send him to the Jets.
I get to go somewhere else? Send him to the Dallas Cowboys, which honestly, we may not be talking enough about how the Cowboys might be a worse fit. Just this NFL purgatory, this hellhole. The Raiders have been to a conference title game. The Raiders more recently than the Dallas Cowboys. That's how bad it is in Arlington. Our biggest losers of the day. How about the Panthers? Rookie quarterback Haynes King. Hamstring. Week to week. The same guy who put the team on his back in the Hall of Fame game is now week to week with a hamstring injury. So they are signing another QB. The Panthers have to go in a different direction in Carolina. And I thought Haynes King, by the way, I didn't really talk about this much. Haynes King was the star of the night, game-winning touchdown in that Hall of Fame game. And because of this, Kyle Trask, the old Florida quarterback, somebody listed Kyle Trask NFL veteran, so they promoted him. Made me feel uncomfortable. I don't like that. NFL veteran Kyle Trask, gross, is the new option in Carolina. If Kyle Trask is on your roster as a quarterback, that makes you a biggest loser of the day. And finally, your biggest winner of the day, Drew Brees, also inducted into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Sean Payton was the man who brought him there, and his speech, emotional speech to New Orleans, was top-notch. Here is the Hall of Famer.
New Orleans has been through a lot, to the point where in some cases the feeling was we may have lost everything. It may never come back the same. Storms teach us that our greatest treasures aren't the things that we own. They're the people we love and the way we show up for one another. It reminds us to hold our loved ones a little closer, to love a little harder, to laugh a little louder, and to never take a single day for granted. Sometimes it takes losing what can be replaced to truly appreciate the things that can't. New Orleans, you accepted me. You embraced me. You believed in me. But more importantly, you trusted me with the soul of the city. And I would have died to protect that calling.
That is a Texas kid, Drew Brees, who went to Purdue, that fell in love with the city of New Orleans, and the city of New Orleans fell in love with Drew Brees. Addie, the Hall of Famer.
Oh, how can you not fall in love with two things, Drew Brees and the city of New Orleans? As a Saints fan, I mean, he's my entire childhood. And I know a lot of people feel that way. He saved the city when they needed him the most, and there's no one more deserving than Drew Brees of that honor.
One prominent college conference is dying. And not just dying, but on an expedited mission to die. This league is about to lose all of its power teams, its biggest brands, its biggest names, as college football's legislation has been thrown on its head. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Which conference and which teams are moving conferences? Next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Friday night. days come along. Older times we're missing, spending the hours reminiscing. Hurry, don't be late, I can hardly wait. I said to myself when we're old, we'll go dancing in the dark, walking through the park and reminiscing. Friday night it was late, I was walking you home. We got down to the gate and I was dreaming of the night. Would it turn out right? How to tell you, girl, I wanna build my world around you. Tell you that it's true. I wanna make you understand.
One college conference is about to lose primary and prominent member institutions. Get ready to learn Clemson in the Big Ten, Florida State in the SEC. Get ready to learn Duke in the Big 12. It's on its way. So the Protect College Sports Act, I hate when you put the word act or bill at the end of something. I tune out. I'm good. Not for me anymore. I'm sports show, right? But I've got to learn the Protect College Sports Act because some of the addendums in this thing are going to, you've got it, protect college sports. Well, one of the things that the House is trying to push through, get the president to sign, and that's all be on the same page about, is realignment and expansion. And the Protect College Sports Act is this thing that would reset budgets to $48 million for NIL for every major college football and basketball program. And it would make where you can only transfer one time, make a new transfer rule. You can only transfer once without being penalized. It would also give you 5 years to play 5 seasons of college athletics. You can't play when you're 26 years old. These are all good things. We all like these positive changes. Well, buried in the middle of this act is this addendum about colleges and whether or not they can leave their conferences. And the addendum said if you want to leave a power conference for another power conference, your penalty is 5 years in purgatory, 5 years in independence where you have to basically fund yourself. That is a death wish for almost anybody. So the pushback was so violent on this that now we have a brand new rule added to the Protect College Sports Act. And it's time for our obituaries. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12, and right here on Westwood One Sports alongside Addie Bates and Laura Jimenez. Dead today, the ACC. Ross Dellinger, Yahoo Sports, says per a new amendment obtained by Yahoo Sports, if a Power League school wants to move to another power conference, the school can avoid this 5-year probationary period if it withdraws from its league within 180 days of the bill's enactment. Why should you care? What is the point? What do you say at the water cooler? Well, if you're a Clemson fan, this is expediting the process to get Clemson somewhere not named the ACC. If you're a Miami fan, this is expediting the process to get Miami to the Big Ten of the SEC. It's getting them out of the Atlantic Coast Conference. And now, instead of a 5-year probationary period, after this bill is put into effect, which we're estimating will be in September, you have 180 days to leave your conference. We're about to see another expedited round of realignment. Here's why that's a good thing. Because in college athletics, Stanford is playing Virginia Tech in football in November as a conference game. I can't keep doing this. If we want to save college athletics, the best way to do that is to ensure that Cal is not playing NC State in women's basketball on a Tuesday in February. That's not my college athletics. You have 180 days to reshuffle this thing, and if it means Stanford and Cal go to the Pac-12, this new reiterated Pac-12 that's got San Diego State and Boise State, well, damn it, at least that is better than Cal playing the Wolfpack of NC State. I can't do that. I can't take that anymore. Protect College Sports Act, it's now been rumored, is one that the president wants to sign into law on College game day this fall. That's how close we are to this 180-day period where your favorite teams can jump ship. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We're in the middle of our obituaries. Dead today, Maxx Crosby's tenure with the Las Vegas Raiders. At least it should be after what happened over the weekend. Crosby got into a fight with the quarterback of the Raiders, Kirk Cousins. This is the same Crosby who was traded to the Ravens, and that trade fell through upon further examination of Crosby's knee. The Ravens got cold feet, said, no. You guys can keep Maxx Crosby. We're just kidding. We don't need him. Okay. So Crosby is still in Las Vegas, one of the most prominent pass rushers in the league, and now he's pass rushing his own quarterback. Yeah, Kirk Cousins is wearing the red jersey, training camp, 11 on 11. Cousins is just dropping back to pass. Crosby fights to the line and hits Kirk Cousins on the arm. Pass falls incomplete. Kurt looks at him. Kirk Cousins, notable good. Hey, man, what the heck was that? Couple plays later, what does Crosby do? The same damn thing. He goes after Cousins and hits the guy. Now, Cousins isn't the fighting kind, and here we are. Both guys are punished by having to sit out of practice on Saturday, and who did that leave but Fernando Mendoza to be the starting quarterback to run with the ones for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think Maxx Crosby should have been kicked out of practice immediately. We sit him down. You just hit the quarterback during training camp, the guy wearing a red jersey. Don't hit the quarterback. You sit him down in a room and say, where do you want to go? Where do you want it? Anywhere but here. We're done with Maxx Crosby. We're done with cryptic tweets. We're done with you being wishy-washy. One tweet, I love the Raiders, I'm a Raider for life. The next tweet, I can't wait to go somewhere else. The next tweet, some vague racial thing. I'm done fighting the fight for Maxx Crosby. 310-840-4910. Would you take Maxx Crosby? Would you fight through the headache that is Maxx Crosby in your locker room? 310-840-4910. Or maybe a better question, if you're a Niners fan and want to bolster that roster in the toughest division in football. Maybe a better question if you're a Packers fan and want to build around the defense of Micah Parsons. Maybe a better question if you're a Cowboys fan. What would you give up for Maxx Crosby? 310-840-4910. In my opinion, his time with the Raiders needs to end now. He's become too much of a headache in the locker room, and he's hitting the quarterback at practice to the point that Crosby and Cousins had to sit in the sandbox on Saturday and let Mendoza, the rookie, run things. It's our obituaries, the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Dead today. Having feet? It does seem that's the case. Bryce Young, it's not good. It's really not good. Bryce Young is being interviewed at training camp by reporter Dave Stevens. Here's what you need to know about reporter Dave Stevens before we get into this clip. Dave Stevens was born without legs. That would not be important, aside from the fact that it is very vital, specifically in this instance, when Bryce Young just didn't quite think about what he was saying. Here is the very brave, admirable Dave Stevens, who, again, born without legs, interviewing Bryce Young.
Definitely the goal, but that's a long-term one. Can't think too far ahead right now. It's about being the best version of the team we are. Training camp's about finding that, so definitely just where my feet are right now.
I don't know. Speaking of feet, I don't have any.
No! The Panthers' starting quarterback, Bryce Young, talking to a reporter who doesn't have any legs and says, I just want to be where my feet are. Those are today's obituaries. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you, 310-840-4910. All day today, we're talking Maxx Crosby, Tarek Skubal. We'll give you some hints of Laremy Tunsil, who is now out for a significant period of time, the all-pro left tackle for the Washington Commanders after a torn pec. Yeah, whatever's up. I don't really have a ton of them. Whatever's up in there. We're hitting all of it. 310-840-4910. If you want Maxx Crosby, please call. Please text. We'll give them to you. We'll find a way. We'll build a package for the Raiders to send you Maxx Crosby. He's got tattoos, Addy. He's got tattoos. Oh.
No. Not that easy.
310-840-4910. You can call or text as well. Would you take him, and what would you give for Maxx Crosby? Speaking of Addy Bates, it's time for the Quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. Addy Bates reads them. Drake Toll responds.
Woo! Just because he has tattoos. Here's your first headline, Drake Toll. Teddy Bridgewater leaves Lions to retire again, says his coach.
Snip, snap, snip, snap. How many retirements does it take before you actually stay retired? We're gonna have is this an Aaron Donald situation? We're gonna get Teddy Bridgewater back here in a few weeks. This smells, this stinks of guy retires. Week 15 rolls around. The Lions are in need of a quarterback because they look around the room like, man, everybody's hurt. Jared Goff's hurt. They brought in Joshua Dobbs. They brought in Josh Dobbs to take a spot. Dobbs is hurt. Let's call Teddy Bridgewater. And Teddy's just coaching high school football, saving the world. He's a high school teacher. Teddy Bridgewater, notable good guy. And he comes back and plays. He's 33 years old. I think he's given most of what he can to the NFL and will one day be an NFL coach. Might as well expedite that and get along with it. Bridgewater's career is done. Louisville guy. He was in the league for 12 seasons. Yeah. None of them great, but thanks, Teddy. 15,000-yard passer, though. Okay, that's a good chunk. It's not bad, Teddy Bridgewater. It's not bad.
Here's your next headline. You were close with Peck, but it's not his Peck. Commanders Laremy Tunsil suffers a torn tricep.
It's all the same to me. All of mine are kind of morphed into one thing. They're kind of all of my.
That's not
my whole upper body, my whole torso, up through my arms are just one amorphous blob.
Banana.
You said tricep? They got him the tricep?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, if you're the Washington Commanders, this is your best player. He is one of the best offensive linemen in the National Football League as well. This is the same Laremy Tunsil. Can't live it down. We'll never be able to live it down. Who on draft night did do weed. They didn't necessarily do weed on draft night. Maybe he did.
Stay off the weed.
Had the gas mask, and the weed was coming out of it. And then Laremy Tunsil, he dropped a few spots, lost a few $1 million because of the whole, that was back when we really hated weed in the NFL. You can do it now. You can get away with it now. Torn triceps in practice. Will likely undergo surgery, by the way, and miss a large portion of the regular season. That is a massive blow to the Commanders, namely the offense, and you take out one of the best. He's a $30 million man. Every year, this dude's making $30 million, highest paid offensive lineman to play for you. and is now out for a substantial period of time. If the Commanders wanted to compete, having a 5-time Pro Bowler to anchor you at left tackle, who's just signed an extension, 32 years old, you're getting the last 3 or 4 years out of him, you can. Having that guy in the fold, probably a good thing. But now the 5-12 Commanders try to rally without their best player. The best player on your roster's out for at least half the year. That's bad. It's a minute.
Here's your next headline, and this is crazy. The Buffalo Bills spent $2.2 billion on their new stadium and forgot to make sure you could see the whole field from the seats.
No one can see. No one can see. They got to the stadium. Fans were excited. We have a dome. We officially have dome. Everybody's very excited about dome. You get to Buffalo. Fans get their first look at it this week. And they're like, wait a second. I can't see in here. State-of-the-art facility. Opportunity for Buffalo to have one of the coolest. This goes deeper. My problem is every new NFL stadium I see is the exact same thing. Every one is just the same thing. Look at this dome we have. Okay, great. Thank you. And I've been to SoFi in Los Angeles and Westwood, and I've been to, what do they call it, Atlanta Stadium during the World Cup. I've been to Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, and it's just the same, it's just carbon copies of each other. And now Buffalo, in an effort to be just like everybody else, builds an indoor facility because the snow there is terrible. By the way, may I for a second, give me an extra 15 seconds. Whoa, pause. One of my favorite traditions in football is when it snows 18 feet in Buffalo and they pay the fans $20 an hour to shovel the players' cars out of their driveway, to go to the stadium with the leaf blowers and clear the snow. That's awesome. It's a great tradition. Now, that tradition's dead, and the stadium you built has a bunch of seats that have sight lines that are blocked by other seats and podiums and rails. Bad. That's a minute.
Here's your next headline. Chris Sale, this is amazing. Fuming after Balk ejected before Braves win. Now, I should say this. He was ejected the day after the Balk incident. So he wasn't even starting. He got into an argument with the ump before the game and got ejected.
So Sale's pitching on, Friday?
Yeah.
Saturday, shows up at the ballpark. Where is he? I want to find him.
This is yesterday. Yesterday he got ejected before the game.
He's pitching on Saturday. Balk is called. He's ticked off. Comes to the facility on Sunday. It's like, I want to see him. Show me the umpires. I need to find them. I'm thinking of Christian Bale, not Chris Sale. I'm thinking of like a Batman here. But in my mind, he's kind of going Batman mode as he hunts down the umpires. And they just ejected him. Game hasn't even started yet. What do you say? And is it, because if you argue a review in college football, like we just reviewed the monitor, so you can't argue that or you're immediately ejected. I wonder if that's the same in the MLB. Like, hey, you can't argue yesterday's calls or we eject you immediately. Kind of Bush League. I wasn't a fly on the wall, but it seems a little Bush League. He got ejected. That's a little extreme, guys. Just explain the balk and let's all go home. It's a minute.
Here's your final headline. Ben Simmons set for Australia national team minicamp as he eyes his NBA return.
Yes! Move over, LeBron James. Ben Simmons is back. We'll see you in Valhalla. We have the watch. Don't worry. Ben Simmons has returned to the NBA. What a bust, man. This is another example, by the way, of the Philadelphia 76ers and their fan base just never having nice things. Markelle Fultz, kind of crown jewel example of this. And it's almost as if Ben Simmons was a bigger bust than Markelle Fultz because the expectations were so much higher. You knew the name Ben Simmons coming out of LSU. You knew who Ben Simmons was, and he was supposed to be. I think it was Max Kellerman who said, move over LeBron James. We have Ben Simmons now. No one said that about Markelle Fultz. And Ben Simmons had flashes, a semblance early in his career of a good basketball player. Turns out he wasn't. And now Ben Simmons is on the cutting room floor. Sorry, the Australia national team trying to make an NBA comeback. Dead today, Ben Simmons' basketball career.
Those are your headlines for today.
That's the quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. Addy Bates read them. Drake Toll responded. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. Hold on a second. Why would you Would you want to gain the whole world but lose your soul? The Dodgers, Major League Baseball's villain, just did the unthinkable. They started to suck. Are the Dodgers no longer the favorite to win the World Series? Are we? Do we have any San Diego Padres fans in the house here? Because I'm seeing a team that is on the decline. Is the Scooble curse here to stay? Tarek Scooble answers that question for us next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. I go through the revolution. Feed the babies who don't have enough to eat. Shoe the children with no shoes on their feet. House the people living in the street. Oh, there's a solution. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Right through the revolution. Time keeps on slipping into the future. 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 I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Right through the revolution. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future.
Did Tarek Skubal just tank the Dodgers? Because a week ago, when all the rave was about Tarek Skubal being a member of the LA Dodgers, now all of a sudden, the Dodgers are struggling to buy wins. Hold on. Buy is a strategic word there, by the way. The Dodgers are struggling to win games to buy wins. They have one fewer win this year now than the Tampa Bay Rays, which, I know Tampa's been great, and Tampa's on a 6-game win streak right now, and maybe they're the surprise of the American League. But as the Rays now have 71 wins, the Dodgers 70. You're like, hold on, hey, pause. The Dodgers, who are 2-8 in their last 10 games and have just lost yet another series. The Dodgers just 7.5 games ahead in the NL West, 8.5 games ahead of the San Diego Padres, 7.5 ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks. All of a sudden, things look rocky in Los Angeles. But I can point to exactly why. If you sell your soul, but you gain the whole world, who really wins there? Because it seems as though the Los Angeles Dodgers, they're not winning the way they thought they would. We brought in Tarek Skubal. Surely this will work. Surely we'll be unbeatable now, the greatest team of all time. No, quite the opposite. 310-840-4910. You can call or text the Drake Toll Show. Are the Dodgers dead? Now, this storyline is not one that starts with the Dodgers play. Instead, it starts with how the Dodgers have constructed the roster in 2026, including adding a piece like Tarek Skubal, trading prospects to go get the 2-time defending Cy Young winner out of the American League. The Dodgers bought at the trade deadline, just like the San Diego Padres, who are in their very own division and sit 8.5 games back of the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers bought at the trade deadline, and in buying, they got Tarek Skubal without losing a single big leaguer on their roster. We'll send prospects. We'll get arguably the best pitcher in Major League Baseball and certainly the best pitcher in the American League. What has that led to? More losing. And it opens a conversation of how did you get Tarek Skubal? And is Major League Baseball's collusion rumor, this idea that the MLB has worked to make the Dodgers even stronger, is it starting to take shape? How could a player like Tarek Skubal be traded from Detroit to LA, be traded from a team that's out of the playoff picture to a team who's the favorite to win the World Series, and one of his first responses is, I want to play my career in Detroit? That I want to be a Detroit Tiger? The Dodgers have a 7.5 game lead. A month ago, they had a 14-game lead. That has dwindled. And I have a conspiracy theory. Let's start us, though, with Tarek Skubal. Here's what he had to say. The man who got traded from Detroit to L.A. about wanting to stay in Detroit. Tarek?
And it sucks for me, too. You know, this wasn't the way the season was supposed to go. You know, going into the offseason, the people that we acquired, you know, through free agency and who we signed, you know, I'm like, this is the World Series team. You know, this is the team that I'm going to go and win a World Series and beat anybody. You know, it doesn't matter what's going on. So, you know, it's tough for my end too. You know, I would love to play my whole career in Detroit. You know, I would love to. And hopefully those negotiations can pick back up in November, you know, once the playoffs are done and we'll see where that goes. You know, hopefully they're involved with everything. You know, I would love to return. I got nothing but good things to say about the city of Detroit and, you know, the manager, the coaching, the staff, the trainers, the teammates, like, yeah, it's tough, you know, and I'm going to try not to cry right now, but, yeah, I mean, I love all those guys. So hopefully they're involved in November and, you know, we'll see what happens then.
Can I give you some radio perspective here? It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. After listening to that from Tarek Skubal, one of the things that we talk about in radio is, all right, you know, you play a soundbite, you play a clip. What's your big takeaway from it? Can you compare it to something from the past? Can you build out the future? Can you go back and say, hey, Tarek Skubal said that. We've heard this from stars before. No. I can't think of a single example where a guy gets traded to the greatest team of all time, the Dodgers, and his response is, I'm going to cry. I want to play my entire career in Detroit. Scooble didn't want this. He's telling you openly, one of the best players in a major sport in the United States is telling you, I did not want to get traded to the best team in this sport. I wanted to play my entire career in the place that I was. I am willing to cry. I'm getting emotional because I wanted to be in Detroit. What does it tell you? I can tell you what it tells me. 310-840-4910. What does it tell you? I can tell you what it tells me. It tells me that the LA Dodgers are once again in the middle of this collusion that Major League Baseball and the owners have put together to further strengthen the Dodgers. We got a text, 310-840-4910. Don't believe everything you see. The Dodgers are still the team to beat, and that's good for baseball. Nobody said the NBA was broken when Jordan won 3 in a row. It's from Kimmons in San Diego. I don't think the Dodgers are bad for baseball necessarily. But I think the way they got here, I think the way they got stacked to a super team, that's the part that's bad for baseball. Because owners around the league understand that the collective bargaining agreement needs to be signed by December 1st of 2026, and we cannot play baseball unless a collective bargaining agreement is signed between the players and the owners for us to continue playing baseball for the next 10, 20, 25 years. And to get there, the owners want a salary cap. Why do the owners want that? Well, because we, the Marlins, we, the Pirates, we, the Rangers, do not want to pay $450 million for a roster the way that the Dodgers do. No, we don't. We want to pay, I don't know, $250 million. So if you can set a salary cap there, maybe then we can compete with the Dodgers. Now, the players said, nope, no salary cap. You're not going to cap what I can make, period. End of story. So what did the owners of Major League Baseball do? We'll show you, the players. We'll trade every damn good guy in this league to the LA Dodgers. We'll ship them out west. They'll play with the Dodgers, like a Tarek Skubal. We'll allow the Dodgers in free agency to pick up Kyle Tucker. We'll allow them to pick up the big names in baseball so that you, the players, get so frustrated. Nobody can beat the Dodgers. That you get so frustrated, you now understand that a salary cap is necessary in Major League Baseball. Let's strengthen the Dodgers. And L.A. said, fine, if we've got to sell our soul but gain the whole world, come on, give us Tarek Skubal. We'll take it. Just to lose the season series to the Diamondbacks, a team who you very well could see in the postseason this year. A team who's winning. A team who they went to the World Series in 2023, who in the last 5 years has kind of won in spite of lower expectations, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Is that fishy to you? 310-840-4910. Are the Dodgers dead? Did they take it a bridge too far? Is there a curse now in L.A. for a team that's 2-8 in their last 10? MLB Network's own Addie Bates produces the Drake Toll Show. Good morning, Addie.
Good morning.
Are the Dodgers dead?
No, far from it. They said the Red Sox were dead 2 months ago, and look at them now. Said the Astros were dead. Ken Rosenthal called them cockroaches, and look at them. They always rebound. Now, they are going through a slump, and I don't think the culture is amazing at the moment. I mean, Tarek Skubal's saying that he wants to retire as a Tiger. That's like you get dumped by your ex, right? You go to the rebound, and you tell the rebound as you're there with him or her, it's like, I want to marry my ex.
Someone would get dumped. Somebody else.
Yeah, Drake, you get dumped. You get dumped. Yeah. You go to the rebound and you tell them, I'm going to marry that woman. I'm going to marry my ex. They're like, well, I mean, I'm here now, but that's fine. That's exactly the situation. This is not good for Dodgers culture, and it's a team who's trying to prove, hey, no, we're talented. We have like a farm system. We can win. Right now they're going through a bit of a skid against the Diamondbacks. So the NL West is going to be fun for the rest of the season.
It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. 310-840-4910. You know, the biggest story in the National Football League today is exactly where I want to take you for a second. Maxx Crosby got into a fight with Kirk Cousins over the weekend. Maxx Crosby and Kirk Cousins are teammates. Maxx Crosby and Kirk Cousins are both veterans of the National Football League. Crosby edge rusher for the Las Vegas Raiders, was traded a few months ago to the Baltimore Ravens. That trade fell through after the Ravens said, hey, we examined him and medically he's just not up to snuff. His knee is not there. And the Raiders said, you knew that. We told you he had a partially torn knee. He's getting surgery for this. You knew this when you traded for him. And within 72 hours, the trade coming down the pipeline, it was nixed, null, void. And Crosby had to go limping, literally, back to Las Vegas. In the middle of that, this veteran of the Las Vegas Raiders, Maxx Crosby, sees Kirk Cousins come into the fold in Vegas and become the starting quarterback over your first overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, over the future, over the guy who can help you compete, can help you win. Then at training camp on Friday, Kirk Cousins drops back wearing the red jersey, the red quarterback jersey. You played quarterback in Pee Wee. You know the red jersey. It means don't touch that guy. Crosby comes firing through the line and bam, whacks Kirk Cousins, hits Kirk Cousins, tackles Kirk Cousins, knocking him in the arm. What the hell? Kirk Cousins is not the fighting kind. So he's like, hey, man, get off me. Please don't do that. That wasn't very nice. Couple plays later, here comes Crosby off the edge. Whack! He hits Kirk Cousins. Maxx Crosby hits Kirk Cousins. Defensive player hits the quarterback at training camp. The same Maxx Crosby that was traded and then untraded, snip, snap, is now causing more issues, more problems in Las Vegas. But this time on the field for Las Vegas. Maxx Crosby's time in Vegas has run out. If I am the Raiders, I want to get as far as humanly possible from Maxx Crosby at this point. He has become an injury issue for your roster. He is hell-bent on hurting members of your roster. What I find even more pitiful than that somehow is no reporter during the media sessions this weekend with the Raiders asked their head coach, first-year head coach Klint Kubiak, about this. The one guy they asked about it is the little-known tight end Michael Mayer, who had 324 receiving yards last year. Michael Mayer. I can't even pronounce his name right. Mike says more about him, doesn't it? Michael Mayer is the only guy asked, 25-year-old tight end, about this scuffle. Here's what the offensive player Michael Mayer had to say.
Yeah, it's energy, man. It's energy. We don't want to be throwing punches, but, I think on any padded day of camp, there's going to be some, tuffles. That's our starting quarterback right now, and you want him to defend your team, and you want him to have some edge to him, which he does. He's always had. Since the first day I met him when he came in here. So it's all, I don't want him getting thrown out. I don't want him getting a flag, nothing like that, but you got to be able to defend yourself.
No mention of Maxx Crosby being a leader. No mention of Maxx Crosby being a veteran. No mention of Maxx Crosby being – no. He's talking about the first-year start. That's my starting quarterback. He's got to stand up for himself. That's Kirk Cousins. He's got to stand up for the team. That's Michael Mayer saying that Kirk Cousins, the new guy, the starting quarterback, needs to stand up for the team against Maxx Crosby. The sooner Crosby is gone in Las Vegas, the sooner an issue is eradicated by the Las Vegas Raiders. Would you take Maxx Crosby on your NFL franchise? 310-840-4910. Cowboys, Lions, Bears, Buccaneers. Better question, what would you give up for Maxx Crosby? Here are the three teams that you need to know that are in the lottery for Maxx Crosby right now. Next, this is the Drake Toll Show.
She lives for me, says she lives for me, ovation. Well, motivation, she comes round and she goes down on me. And I make you smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you wanna do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what we go through. One stop to the rhythm that defines you. And I speak to you like on the belly, face down on the mattress. One, and you hold me, and we are broken. Still it's all I wanna do, just to live and I'll feel myself heavy off the ground. I'm scared, I'm not coming down. No, no, and I won't run from my life. She's got the thoughts now locked down in a smile, but nothing is alright, alright. I want something else to get me through this life, baby. I want something else. Not listening when you say she lives for me, says she lives for me, ovation, who won't motivation. She comes round and she goes down on me, and I make you smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you wanna do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what we go through.
Maxx Crosby. Is it time to hang it up in Las Vegas and restart elsewhere? I think so. I think at this point it is probably time for Las Vegas to hang it up for Maxx Crosby and search out anybody who is excited to make a trade and take this guy in their franchise. His frustrations have boiled over to the point that he is hitting the quarterback at training camp. Again, we teach you this in Pop Warner. Don't hit the quarterback in practice. It's the number one thing that we don't do. And the frustration for Crosby has boiled over to the point it's probably time to see Maxx Crosby in a different uniform. 310-840-4910. Would you take Maxx Crosby on your NFL franchise? Let's take it to the phone lines. Connor in California. Would you take Maxx Crosby?
Hi. My name is Conrad. Sorry, it's a little confusing over the phone. But I honestly think this is a non-story. Crosby's Crosby, and he brings energy, and he's happy to be back. And honestly, you always take a guy like Crosby on your team. He's the motor of your team. He's the heart and soul. And letting the new guy, I know Kirk Cousins has been around for a while, but letting the new guy know what's up with your team, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Appreciate the phone call and appreciate the perspective. And the idea that this would be a veteran in Maxx Crosby teaching somebody a lesson. I mentioned this, I guess, an hour ago, and it's good to refresh. Let's take Kedon Slovis, BYU quarterback who is playing for the Panthers now. And if you take Kedon Slovis and take third, fourth string young guy, 25-year-old in the NFL, and throw him out there for Las Vegas, and Maxx Crosby goes and gets in his face, or they break out into a scuffle, then maybe I'm thinking non-story, non-factor. What piles up for me what makes this a story for me, what makes this come to a head for me, is Maxx Crosby and the teams that want Maxx Crosby. The guy's got a reputation. Connor, you hit the nail on the head right there for high motor play. He's been in the middle of issues that have, he was double birding fans this time last year, 2025, during preseason games. He's been aggressive, gotten into multiple scuffles with opposing teams, his own team now hitting the quarterback at training camp. And I think the crux of the story here is he's not hitting he's not having an altercation with a third string, fourth string quarterback. No, he is actively hitting the the starting quarterback. He is hitting that guy in practice. He's knocking that guy down in training camp. Maxx Crosby is Maxx Crosby, yes. But he's taken it to a degree too far at this point to showcase, to further show you he does not want to be a Raider anymore. This is the same guy who's gone back and forth on being a Raider, and now I believe his services are best used elsewhere, in a place like Dallas. Jerry Jones would probably tell you that Crosby's services are best used in a place like Dallas. Let's take you to what Jerry Jones said when asked by a reporter whether or not he had closed the door on the book of Crosby.
Why did you walk away from Maxx Crosby when it fell apart with the Ravens and not revisit that then?
We didn't. No, no, because there's nothing more to elaborate about, but we did not walk away.
Jerry Jones would like Maxx Crosby. He's mentioned Crosby by name on multiple occasions now during his interviews. He talked about very early on in training camp this year the possibility of adding new pieces, saying, I'm not afraid. It's always that first press conference of the year for Jerry Jones when he gets to Oxnard and the Dallas Cowboys suit up, and typically it's Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett, or Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer. Jerry Jones and whoever the head coach is that year, that iteration of the Dallas Cowboys, they sit down, Mike McCarthy, they sit down, and it's not for Mike McCarthy to talk. It's not for Brian Schottenheimer to talk. It's not for Jason Garrett. This is Jerry Jones' moment, day one, Oxnard. Day one this year, Jerry said, I'm not afraid to make the right moves to compete. I'm not afraid to make the right moves. That right move could feature Maxx Crosby. That right move could be the right move for the Chicago Bears. That's a team right now that needs a high-powered defensive catalyst. They've got Caleb Williams on the offense. When I look at the Bears, I analyze their roster, I don't see a pass rush. That's the missing puzzle piece in an NFC North that has a guy like Micah Parsons for Green Bay across the way. I look at Detroit. Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine the fire of a Maxx Crosby in Detroit under Dan Campbell? And it's a homecoming. He played at Eastern Michigan. He's from the area. He embodies that grit. You talk about grit? We got a guy who's mauling quarterbacks, mauling his own quarterback at spring training. Oh, and by the way, if Crosby wants to win, that's the place he can win. And win at a Super Bowl rate. I think Detroit is better suited to win right now than the Dallas Cowboys or the Chicago Bears. The Detroit Lions have a strength of schedule that is 32nd in the NFL in 2026. The Lions have it cut out to win in 2026 and have a very a favorable playoff spot. New Orleans, listen to their first 5 games. New Orleans at home. Buffalo on the road in their new facility. Tough, no doubt. The Jets, the Panthers, the Cardinals. Did you hear that? They can limp to 4-1 before they host Green Bay and host Minnesota. And I have more questions about Green Bay and Minnesota than I do the Lions. Oh, then they go to Miami. Miami sucks. Tampa Bay, Chicago, of course, these divisional games, Chicago and Green Bay, those will be fun. But Atlanta, Tennessee, the New York Giants, there's a reason the Lions are 32nd in strength of schedule this year. Maxx Crosby in the middle of that fold, in the middle of that defense, that's Super Bowl caliber in Detroit. 310-840-4910. Would you take Maxx Crosby? Conrad says it's overblown. Would you take Maxx Crosby? 310-840-4910. If you wouldn't, I think that you could be a part of our Idiots of the Day. Oh, wow. He is just looking for a new home. That is Maxx Crosby. And if he can find the right spot, if he can find the right place, the right fit, maybe he'll put away his proclivities of hitting quarterbacks at training camp. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Idiot of the Day, 49ers left tackle Trent Williams. Let's take you out to San Francisco. We've told you about the injury issues that the Niners have dealt with over the course of the last couple of years, this electromagnetic substation, whatever the hell that is, that's situated around their facility, and how they've been marred in controversy thanks to their head coach, Kyle Shanahan, getting into a wreck. And then after the car wreck, it was written in a police report that a 21-year-old female was at fault. Shanahan would say, no, it was actually me. Please don't blame her. My bad. And we've yet to really nail down what happened during the wreck and why Kyle Shanahan is now taking the blame himself for it. That's become confusing. Then again, this electromagnetic field that's built around the facility in San Francisco is what many fans are blaming for an uptick in injuries. The 49ers have been top 10 in injuries the last 5 seasons in the National Football League. Now Trent Williams, say hello to more controversy, has been sued for signing a 4-year lease for a Porsche 911 in 2021. He made the first 2 payments, then made none of the next 46 payments. He is 46 payments behind on his Porsche 911. Ooh. Per NBCSports.com, the company is now looking for $240,000 worth of payments. His first 2 payments were totaled at $10,600. So you already cleared $10,000 out of this thing, and then just stopped. The lease expired last August, and the company says it doesn't know the whereabouts of the car and says that Trent Williams may have sold it to a car company who then sold it to someone else. He's been sued for a breach of contract, and the whole thing is, quote, confusing. All right, I might have to give Idiot of the Day to the car company that waited 46 payments late before finally saying, hey, Trent Williams, left tackle for the San Francisco 49ers, we maybe need our car back. You waited until the lease expired last August to finally call him out on it. That car's gone. Smell you later. Trent Williams is our Idiot of the Day, alongside those who won't take Maxx Crosby. Let's keep it in the NFL. There may be some truth to this. Jahmyr Gibbs is the most valuable running back in the National Football League. More than Saquon Barkley, more than Bijan Robinson, more than Christian McCaffrey. Jahmyr Gibbs is the most valuable running back in the NFL. Here's why that matters. Next, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
It's getting to the point where I'm no fun anymore.
I am sorry.
Sometimes it hurts so badly I must cry out loud.
I am lonely.
I am yours, you are mine, you are what you are. You make it hard. Remember what we've said and done and felt about each other. Oh, babe, have mercy. Don't let the past remind us of what we are not now. I am not dreaming. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Tearing yourself away from me now. You are free, and I am crying. This does not mean I don't love you. I do. That's forever. Yes, and for always. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Something inside is telling me that I've got your secret. Are you still listening? Here is the lock and laughter, the key to your heart. And I love you. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. And you make it hard. And you make it hard. And you make it hard. Friday night, Sunday in the afternoon. What have you got to lose? Tuesday morning, please be gone, I'm tired of you. What have you got to lose? Can I tell it like it is? Listen to me, baby. It's my heart that's a suffer, it's a die, and that's what I have to lose. I've got an answer. I'm going to fly away. What have I got to lose? Will you come see me Thursdays and Saturdays? Hey, hey, hey. What have you got to lose?
The most valuable running back in the National Football League is named Jahmyr Gibbs. What? This reminds you, what it reminds me of? Reminds me of 6th grade. Elizabeth, 5th grade? Maybe it may have been 5th grade. Elizabeth Vermillion moved to Valonia Middle School. She wasn't the hottest. She wasn't noticed like, oh wow, everything stops. Like new girl moved in, but she was like the 3rd girl to start wearing makeup. And what she had going for her is that the first two girls who started wearing makeup just didn't have any idea what they were doing. Like they were the cute girls, right? But they didn't have any idea what they were doing. Elizabeth, she knew how to do makeup. So you're like, man, like is she the cutest girl in school? The girl that just moved here? No, probably not. But she's number one right now in everybody's rankings because she knows how to do makeup. Jahmyr Gibbs, is he the cutest girl in school? Is he the most valuable running back in the National Football League? Ugh. Doesn't roll off the tongue, does it? But he's the highest paid right now. And why? Well, because he knows how to do his makeup. Because Bijan Robinson went and did his makeup first. Because Jonathan Taylor went and did his makeup first. And Jahmyr Gibbs, like, wait a second. Now that I've seen you guys get your contracts, now that Jonathan Taylor's been signed by the Colts for $21 million, and now that Bijan Robinson's been signed for $22 million, what about me, Jahmyr Gibbs, on a 3-year, $75.75 million deal, $51.5 million guaranteed? We're going to talk about it. We're going to get there. We're going to establish the running back room in the National Football League and the way we have reinvented that position and what we pay them. The cash money on the table for three guys in Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, and Bijan Robinson. But we have also talked at length on the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app about Maxx Crosby, the violent, I use violent as it is a kind word, violent in a good way, the violent defender who is wreaking havoc on the National Football League. But this time, to his own quarterback, Maxx Crosby, still a member of the Raiders, hit Kirk Cousins at practice twice. The starting quarterback of the Raiders hit Kirk Cousins twice at practice on Friday, got suspended for Saturday's practice after the two got into an altercation when Cousins said, hey, man, maybe don't hit me. That's like not very nice or very cool. And each of those guys was suspended to the point that Fernando Mendoza took first-team reps. The number one overall draft pick, Fernando Mendoza, took first-team reps on Saturday, and chaos has unfolded in Vegas. Would you take Maxx Crosby? Is it time for the team to just sell him off to somebody else? 310-840-4910. We have multiple calls back to back to back. Ryan from California. Let's talk Maxx Crosby. You're on the Drake Toll Show.
Hey, what's up, bud? So one thing I did want to touch up on was I feel like it's time for Crosby to go. That's the big thing. Crosby needs to go. It needs to be over with. It's just one of those things where you can't really have somebody like that.
I agree in full. Ryan, who are you? Who's your NFL franchise? Who are you a fan of?
So me, I'm from California, but I bleed greens. I love Philly. Philly has always been my team.
So you just went through, and people, there was controversy around A.J. Brown when he left Philadelphia of, is he dropping passes on purpose? Is he selling? Is he giving up on the team? There were conversations about A.J. Brown being a cancer in the locker room to the point that my buddies who are Philly fans are happy that A.J. Brown is not in that locker room. Would you add a Maxx Crosby to the Philadelphia Eagles, or is that almost a one-for-one comparison off the field?
I feel like since we just lost Brandon Graham to retirement, we don't have that necessary defensive anchor that's a veteran. So I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. But at the same time, the way Maxx is, I feel like he'll fit in with the way Philadelphia is. Very aggressive, that violent tendency of attacking the quarterback. And how it is him doing it to his teammates. That's something that can't happen, and I wouldn't want to bring to Philadelphia.
Ryan, I appreciate the phone call. Appreciate you listening. 310-840-4910. I agree in full with what Ryan has here, that the Las Vegas Raiders and their time with Maxx Crosby in tow has probably run out. Let's keep it at the phone lines, 310-840-4910. Some people call him Maurice. Maurice from Topeka, but truly he bleeds black and silver from Oakland. Let's talk Maxx Crosby.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on the Drake Toll Show.
Hey, top of the morning to you. First of all, much respect for your show. I listen every morning that it comes in clear on my truck radio. I got a different perspective on why Maxx Crosby is doing what he does towards Kirk Cousins. Yeah. And I think it has to do with the fact that, like, when we set him out and he didn't want to sit out last year, he threw his whole hissy fit or whatever because he just want to compete.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins, I do not believe, gives the Raiders an actual real chance to compete because he's a settler. And he proved that in that playoff game when he played with Minnesota. And instead of going for the fourth down pass to his top-notch wide receiver, he did a check down that ended the game. And in his interview, he said he would do it 10 out of 10 times because that's the right play. That doesn't work in winning football. So I think seeing what happened when Maxx Crosby did what he did and they got suspended, the rookie got to get in, and we got to see that he's about at that same level, if not a little behind, Kirk Cousins. So now they have to think about priming him to start. And that's what you set Crosby for anyway, to get the first pick so that you can bring in a real quarterback. So let's get him out there.
Maurice, you're onto something here. Crosby's a smart guy. For as little
Very
credit
smart.
as he's given, he's a smart guy, and he operates with intention, and he is a bully. I said violent was the word I used a second. And that's not a mean thing. Like, you need that in the national football. You need violence. You need bullies. Question for you would be, did Crosby get his way? I don't think he's trying to hurt Kirk Cousins, but did he just roundabout psychological warfare get his way with Fernando Mendoza taking reps with the ones on Saturday?
Yes, 100%. It's like I said, I'm a parent with about 5 kids, and it's called a teachable moment. So he suckered Kirk Cousins, which already shows he's mentally not apt to be the quarterback for the Raiders because this is going to happen to you. No way you should have, grabbed him and tried to, tackle him because as a quarterback, if Maxx Crosby was trying to hurt you when you grabbed his jersey and you're acting like you ready to brawl, he could have slammed Kirk Cousins on that arm, and then you're not throwing, now you're out. Instead, it's little tit-tat things that get in your head that make you have to have patience and do things a little bit different. He didn't. They both got set down, which is probably good for Crosby, bad for Kirk Cousins. The rookie got in, so it's great for him because now they be able to process game film, or at least practice film, with the first team. And what we're hearing from everybody involved with the Raiders is, damn, he looks about as good as Kirk Cousins, if not better. Smart move, Maxx Crosby.
Maurice, if you keep talking like this, you're going to steal my job, man. Thanks for listening to the show.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Look, that's a brand new take. That's like a hold the phone, stop the presses. That's a brand new take that Maurice drops on it. I think Ryan is right in saying that that the scuffle between Crosby and Kirk Cousins that occurred on Friday is an example of, if you're the franchise, then getting rid of Maxx Crosby is probably going to behoove you. And you tried to. The Raiders tried to send Maxx Crosby to the Ravens. The Ravens voided that trade due to an issue with Crosby's physical. Well, Maurice says, if you're Maxx Crosby, you do this to send a message to the franchise. If you don't want me, if you don't want my violence, if you don't want my intensity, if you don't want me to bully people, if you don't want me to want to win, then send me elsewhere. I'm going to do whatever it takes to compete. I don't think Kirk Cousins can help us compete. I don't think that you drafting Fernando Mendoza with the first overall pick, the Heisman winner out of Indiana, the tactical quarterback, same guy who won a national championship, 16-0 last year, en route to that 16-0 during a slop rain game against Alabama in the Rose Bowl, beat down the Crimson Tide 38-3. Like, guy went through a murderer's row to win a national championship last year. You brought him into Las Vegas, and then you said, instead of starting that guy quarterback, let's go Kirk Cousins. A gap year, couple gap years, he's our starter. And instead of even doing a true competition, we didn't get to training camp the way that in Minnesota they're playing a quarterback competition. They have a quarterback competition right now. We didn't get a competition like the Browns have a training camp quarterback competition, like the Falcons have a quarterback competition. Which one of you two between Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix Jr. can stay alive? Stay alive competition, bubble wrap competition. Let's put both those guys in a room, Tua and Michael Penix Jr., and see who can not get hurt. Whoever walks out the least hurt can be our starting quarterback. They all set up, those franchises set up QB battles. The Raiders said bluntly, Klint Kubiak, first-year head coach, our starting quarterback is not the guy that we drafted to save the franchise. Instead, it's Kirk Cousins. Stopgap. Guy who walks in, loses for a year, and then maybe we press the red button of winning next season. Just this isn't the right time to win. You think Maxx Crosby is happy with that? The same guy who for 72 hours believed he was a member of the Baltimore Ravens. For 72 hours, he thought Lamar Jackson was his quarterback. He was traded to the Ravens. And the only thing that kept it off the table was, we looked at his physical and just, he's got something going on his knee. We told you when you traded for him that he was slated to have knee surgery, but would be back for training camp. You knew that, Baltimore. Trade falls through, it's a problem. 310-840-4910. Appreciate both those phone calls from Brian and Maurice there. If you want to get involved, 310-840-4910. You can be heard at over 300 affiliates across the country, as well as SiriusXM 375, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel as well. Shannon from Alabama says, I'd take a flyer on Crosby in a heartbeat. He's a great player, still in his prime, which Shannon's right. Crosby's 28 years old. Plus, I'm pretty sure he was just letting the Raiders know your offensive line is trash, and you need to do something about it. Maybe Crosby is sending these messages the way of his franchise, saying, I'm ready to win now. I want to win now. If you don't, then send me elsewhere. Earlier in this show, Jesse Holley, former Dallas Cowboy, now NFL analyst, joined the program to talk about this exact same thing. And he had good perspective on off-season issues, Crosby being kind of a strange guy. He just wants to – Jesse Holley alluded to really this exact same thing. Here's what Jesse gave us just an hour and a half ago.
There's kind of this anomaly, right? This conundrum of what does he want, right? What does Max want? It was, he tells you on one hand that he's a Raider for life, and then he's requesting the trade behind closed doors, and then after the trade, doesn't go through because of injury, then he comes back to the Raiders, and he's back on the whole Raider for life thing, and so you don't know which way Max is going, and he's putting out rap songs and all this other stuff, and so, a world of a talent seems to be a very good dude. You get to a point in time in your career when you've made all the money and you're regarded as one of the best in the league, you want to start trying to add wins to that, right? You get to that ultimate point where now the money isn't an issue, the stardom isn't an issue anymore. It's now, how can I cement my legacy with winning?
How can I win? And it sounds like Crosby, if he has to be a Raider, wants to win now, forcing his franchise, however he can, into getting Fernando Mendoza on the field, forcing his franchise, like Shannon from Alabama texts, into realizing the holes in the offensive line. Swiss cheese, guys. I'm breaking through here. Fix it. I'm going to keep hitting the quarterback till you fix the offensive line. 310-840-4910. If this has come to a head, if it's too much for the Raiders to handle, if they don't want to do it anymore, would you take Maxx Crosby? And what would you give up? Miami, Dallas, Arizona, Green Bay, Chicago, Detroit, the Jets. What would you give up? Would you take a possible head case in Maxx Crosby? Can I play for you? The tragedy out of this whole deal is that the head coach, Klint Kubiak, during his media availability on Friday, wasn't asked about this. During his last media availability, no reporter in the room thought, hey, it'd probably be good to ask the head coach of the Raiders about Maxx Crosby during 11-on-11, hitting your starting quarterback, Kirk Cousins, in the arm twice, busting through the line during a play, and hitting the guy who's wearing the red "Don't Touch Me" jersey, the quarterback jersey, the "Please Don't Touch Me." And Crosby did it anyway. It's probably good to ask the head coach, hey, that fight that happened out there that led to both players being suspended on Saturday, could you tell us that? Could you give us some perspective on that? No reporter did that. I listened to the whole. Do you know what it's like to have to sit through 24 minutes of a Raiders press conference? I did that, so you don't have to. No one asked him. You know who they did ask? Little-known tight end Michael Mayer, a guy who caught for 324 yards last year. 25-year-old Michael Mayer. You maybe have never heard that name in your life. Plays for the Las Vegas Raiders and was asked by reporters about the scuffle that occurred on Friday between Crosby and Cousins. Listen to how Mayer at no point defends Crosby. This is evidence to me that the franchise is done with Crosby. The players are done with Crosby. If he wants to win and be aggressive to do it, go somewhere else. If he doesn't want to trust the process, go somewhere else. Here's Michael Mayer.
Yeah, it's energy, man. It's energy. We don't want to be throwing punches, but, I think on any padded day of camp, there's going to be some, tuffles. That's our starting quarterback right now, and you want him to defend your team, and you want him to have some edge to him, which he does. He's always had. Since the first day I met him when he came in here. So it's all. I don't want him getting thrown out. I don't want him getting a flag, nothing like that. But you got to be able to defend yourself.
That's my starting quarterback. That's our starting quarterback. That's our leader. He needs to defend himself against the terroristic Maxx Crosby. None of that was, oh, man, yeah, Crosby's he's a guy who wants to win. He's intense. No, this is Kirk Cousins is defenseless, needs to protect himself. We're protecting ourselves from Maxx Crosby. If the Raiders are in protect yourself mode for Maxx Crosby, maybe it's time to finish off the trade, send Maxx Crosby to Dallas, send Maxx Crosby to Detroit, send Maxx Crosby to Chicago, send him somewhere else. Because dudes are on the brink of getting hurt because Crosby just wants to win. You have caged him. For the sake of Maxx Crosby, send him elsewhere. Send him anywhere. 310-840-4910. Would you, fan of the 49ers, would you, fan of the Seahawks, take Maxx Crosby? 310-840-4910. I teased it. I gave you a little bit of it. But now I'm going to deliver. There is truth. The NFL gods are punishing the Detroit Lions, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Indianapolis Colts. When you save a life, you kill a life. 3 members of those 3 franchises are done because of these wrong moves. Next, this is the Drake Toll Show.
The stories that matter from
save a life, give a life. That's the way it goes in the National Football League. You can't expect to go paying running backs. I told you last week, I said do not pay the running back. Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, do not pay the running back. Jonathan Taylor, each of those guys getting contract extensions with their respective franchises. You know what happens? You save a life, you give a life. It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization. Locked on Big 12. You can get involved and be heard worldwide on Sirius XM 375, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, and that Westwood One Sports app at 310-840-4910. Dead today, teams that paid the running back. Do you remember when Gerald McCoy went on ESPN and said the following, you have to give up a soul to get a soul? Take a listen.
One thing you're going to learn about me, Greeny, is
Yeah.
I'm always going to have some superhero reference.
Yes,
or some
please.
type of comic book reference.
Right.
It's almost like the Atlanta Falcons were going after the Soul Stone.
Okay.
So in the Infinity Gauntlet, to get the Soul Stone, you had to give up a soul to get a soul. So to sign Bijan Robinson, it's like we got to give up something. So Jalen Walker gets hurt, but we get Bijan Robinson. It's like, well, we didn't want to go soul for soul. We need them all.
Right.
The soul for a soul. It's time for a conspiracy theory. Must you lose a player to gain a player? The Falcons just did this. Two-time Pro Bowl selection, Bijan Robinson, last week agreed to a 3-year extension worth $75 million with the Falcons. He was, at the time of his signing, the highest-paid running back in NFL history, and Jahmyr Gibbs would pass him up a couple days later. But immediately, this happened. As just detailed, outside linebacker Jalen Walker was put on injured reserve. Oh. The Atlanta Falcons, young man with a torn ACL or an ACL injury during Tuesday's training camp last week at practice, it was announced he'd missed the entire season. The same guy who was coming into his own, who was rushing the crap out of the passer. These are the same Falcons who, in the middle of the offseason, lose multiple pass rushers after not only do you see Jalen Walker out the door, but that kind of blow gives another one to a Falcons team that has lost one after another of pass rushers who should have or could have been paid. So you take life for a life in losing Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., and James Pierce Jr. is the one I was alluding to there. He is suspended, and after he had crashed his car and was evading police, and his WNBA girlfriend, he was stalking her ex-girlfriend, I guess, because he had gone off the deep end after a 10-sack season. So you lose a guy who had 10 sacks a season ago. You lose a guy who had 5.5 sacks, all because you signed Bijan Robinson to a lucrative deal. What if there's a soul for a soul in the National Football League? The conspiracy theory is not done, though. Let's take you out to Detroit, where the Detroit Lions have signed 3-time Pro Bowl selection Jahmyr Gibbs to a 3-year, $67.5 million deal worth up to $76 million, making him the NFL's highest-paid running back. It was confirmed by his agent, Todd France, to Adam Schefter. Is he the most valuable running back in the National Football League? Can tell you this. When I was in 6th grade, Elizabeth Vermillion moved to the Valonia primary elementary, it was middle school. And when she did, was she the cutest girl in school? No. Did we think she was? Yes. Why? Well, she wore makeup. And she was only the 3rd girl at Valonia Middle School to wear makeup. Why does that matter? Because the first 2 girls might have been cuter, but they didn't quite know what they were doing in the makeup department yet. They were still feeling it out. They were finding their way. They're probably doing a little bit too much with the eyeliner and the lipstick. Elizabeth Vermillion walked through the front door, and she knew what she was doing, putting on her makeup. She had taken notes from the other 2. Jahmyr Gibbs, A la Elizabeth Vermillion. He walks into the table and says, hey, wait a second. Bijan Robinson, I see he's wearing makeup. I see that over there. I see he's wearing makeup. Jonathan Taylor, he's got his makeup on, but that's not as good. Hey, watch this. Watch what I can do. Should Jahmyr Gibbs be the highest paid running back in NFL history? Doesn't sound right. The same way Elizabeth Vermillion probably wasn't the cutest girl at Bologna Middle School. But Jahmyr Gibbs knew what he was doing. He was the third one to put on makeup that day. He watched the other two. He loomed in the shadows. And when he saw the number tied to the name Bijan Robinson, when he saw the number tied to the name Jonathan Taylor, he said, I want more than that. The Detroit Lions made Jahmyr Gibbs the highest paid running back in NFL history. So, if you gained that soul, where is the soul lost? It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app, talking an NFL conspiracy theory that when you gain a soul, you lose a soul, in the same way the Atlanta Falcons gained Bijan Robinson on a contract extension but lost James Pierce Jr. or the outside linebacker Jalen Walker. In the case of the Detroit Lions, you gained the NFL's highest paid running back in Jahmyr Gibbs. That soul is yours, but you lost Teddy Bridgewater. In the wake of Jahmyr Gibbs signing, Teddy Bridgewater leaves the Lions and retires for the second time in his NFL career. The veteran quarterback, 15,000 career pass yards, who got to the league in 2014, steps away amid training camp and has been placed on the reserve retired list ahead of the weekend. Here's Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions, on Teddy Bridgewater, another soul leaving.
Teddy Bridgewater is going to step away. So, I've known Teddy a long time, and man, the human being is unbelievable. Certainly the player, everything that he's about, the type of teammate he is, the way he prepares, always played the game up here, and had a huge heart. He's going to be missed. So I'll never forget 2019 when Drew got injured. We had just gone out to the Rams, got beat out there, and Drew, got his thumb, and we lost him for 5 weeks, and Teddy stepped in. We won 5 in a row, man. And, that was Teddy. And then just his time being with us meant a lot, and it meant a lot to our guys. So he's going to be missed.
If you bring in Jahmyr Gibbs to a new deal, if you welcome him into a new deal, you're going to lose somebody else. It is the soul for a soul theory in the National Football League. And the Detroit Lions lost their veteran backup quarterback, a leader, a team leader in Teddy Bridgewater, who is hanging it up and retiring. But I'm not done. Didn't the Indianapolis Colts just sign their running back, Jonathan Taylor, to a couple years worth of $22 million a season? At the time, he was the second highest paid running back in NFL history. Well, let me introduce you to the soul lost. Alec Pierce Jr. has been one of the best wide receivers in Indianapolis, a guy they want to build around. The Indianapolis Colts, that is, had a 1,000-yard season in 2025, and Alec Pierce Jr., at 26 years old, entering the prime of his NFL career. Caught for 800 yards in 2024, 1,000 yards last year, continues an upward progression in the National Football League. But when Pierce went under for an off-season ankle surgery, it was supposed to be a cleanup procedure in March following a lingering issue that had plagued him over the course of last winter. He was placed on the physically unable to perform list to open training camp and is not yet practiced. We went from a cleanup procedure in March to all of a sudden having no clear idea when your wide receiver one, Alec Pierce Jr., will return. Head coach Shane Steichen noted that Pierce is, quote, doing great with his rehab, but the team has not provided a concrete timeline or return date for him to resume on-field drills. We don't even know when he's going to be back. And the organization is taking a cautious approach. The ultimate target being, hopefully, week 1 for wide receiver one, Alec Pierce Jr. This coming for the Colts immediately after they sign Jonathan Taylor. Look, man, We're talking Jahmyr Gibbs, soul for a soul. We're talking Jonathan Taylor, soul for a soul. We are talking a Bijan Robinson signing that probably took out multiple souls in Atlanta. It feels like everybody's hurt there between the quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix Jr. Both of those guys in an injury off, see who can be more hurt than the other. Or losing Jalen Walker, their outside linebacker. Losing their edge in James Pierce Jr. because he was driving cars fast to stalk a woman. All of that piles up to equate to a theory that might just be real. And that is the soul for a soul, Gerald McCoy theory. One more time, Laura, let's take a listen to it. Here's what Gerald McCoy said. To gain a soul, you have to lose a soul.
One thing you're going to learn about me, Greeny, is I'm always going to have some superhero reference.
Yes,
some type of comic book reference.
Right.
It's almost like the Atlanta Falcons were going after the Soul Stone.
Okay.
So in the Infinity Gauntlet, to get the Soul Stone, you had to give up a soul to get a soul. So to sign Bijan Robinson, it's like we got to give up something. So Jalen Walker gets hurt, but we get Bijan Robinson. It's like, well, we didn't want to go soul for soul. We need them all.
Right.
What if that is the case? What if in the National Football League it's a soul for a soul? You give a long-term contract or you give a lucrative contract, short-term lucrative contract to the conspiracy theory that a soul for a soul is the case? Ye must pay. Multiple franchises in the National Football League are now paying because they paid their running backs. When we come back, a brand new contract extension that will throw a division on its head. You got breaking news, Addie?
Oh, yes. Laura.
Laura?
According to Ian Rappaport, the Patriots have agreed to terms with their standout tight end Hunter Henry on a 2-year contract extension, making it likely that he will finish his career with the New England Patriots.
The 31-year-old is locked down in New England. What does this do for the offense of Mike Vrabel and the Patriots? We'll tell you next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Every team, every player, every...
Breaking news for the New England Patriots. Laura, can you hit me with the old breaking news? The Pats have locked in their guy. Per Ian Rappaport, the Patriots have agreed to terms with their standout tight end Hunter Henry on a 2-year contract extension, making it likely he finishes his career with the Pats. 31-year-old, a key weapon for Drake May, had just 1 year remaining on his contract, now locked in. Adam Schefter adds context to the move, saying Patriots tight end Hunter Henry signing a 2-year, $16 million extension worth up to $20 million. That includes a $14.5 million guarantee and $4.2 million signing bonus. Hunter Henry got paid. This is a move for New England that is not just a stats or numbers move. Like, you know the name Hunter Henry because he's been around the National Football League now since 2016. He has been a member of the New England Patriots since 2021 and been an effective member of the New England Patriots since 2021. Since that time in New England, he's played 81 total games for the Patriots since 2021 and is that guy that's always hovering around like 8th, 9th round of your fantasy draft. Like, yeah, Hunter Henry, I'll take that guy. And any given week, he's good for 2 receptions, 12 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just the perfect get, the perfect pickup for your fantasy tight end. Started all 17 games last year for Drake May. But this isn't just a move for New England that is going to prop up the stats, the numbers, an option, a tight end 1 option for Drake May. It is a heart move, a culture move under Mike Vrabel, that Hunter Henry, who's seen this thing since Bill Belichick, and as that started to wane and fall apart, and now Mike Vrabel and the gap year in between Belichick and Vrabel, Henry was there for all of that and has been in the fold to help Drake May grow up through the franchise. Speaking of those two who have a great relationship, let's give it to you. Here is Hunter Henry on what he loves about his MVP, Drake May.
Shoot, he's my MVP, man. I love him to death. As a player, obviously, I love him to death as a person. He's my guy. I'll go to bat for him, wherever he wants. I love competing with him, love playing with him, and just love being on this team with him.
He was there for Gerard. That was the gap year. Was Gerard Mayo, Bill Belichick into Gerard Mayo into Mike Vrabel. And Hunter Henry is an extension of the coaching staff. Captain year after year. Listen, you heard the way he talked about Drake May there. You heard the way that he speaks about the young talent in New England and is able to grow. This is a Pulaski Academy High School guy in Arkansas. I grew up 30 minutes from him. And in knowing his family and knowing the people around him, it was apparent Hunter Henry is a damn good dude. Is a dude you want in your locker room. And he was that way when the Bologna Eagles played him in the postseason, in the playoff, round 1 of the playoffs, my freshman year of high school. That was Hunter Henry and the Henry family. Was it Hudson Henry, his brother? Those were names you needed to know as guys locally who were good dudes. And now he's translated that to a locker room in the National Football League where he's been a culture leader, a culture coach through multiple eras, recent eras of New England football that has ebbed and flowed in their coaching staff. Here's Hunter again. This is one of my favorite moments that came out of the NFL mic'd ups last season. They mic everybody up now on the sidelines. Last year, he's walking over to the sideline when his head coach, Mike Vrabel, said, you'll hear it faintly and then you'll really be able to hear the clear audio. He says, hey, Demario Douglas, pop. He blocked for you to get you in the end zone, to get you a touchdown. That's Demario. And Henry's response is, I know. I'm going to find him right now. I'm going to tell him about it. The back end of this clip, you're going to hear Hunter Henry hugging Demario Douglas, saying, you did that. You got me into the end zone. Take a listen.
Pop's from you. Yeah, I know. I'm just telling you. I'm about to tell him. You look fast. Woo! I got him back. Hey, don't bring it home. I got you, brother. I only got in because of you. I got you, brother. All right. It's only because of you, buddy. Hey! You. Good job. Both of y'all. Got it back. Great job.
I only got in the end zone because of you. That's you, buddy. It's only because of you. You. That's the guy. The New England Patriots have just locked in for 2 more years of Hunter Henry. They've signed themselves up for more of that. And now Drake May, a safety blanket, sitting out there, it's 6 yards deep, wide open in the end zone. Just drop it in there to Hunter Henry for his 2 catches every game for 12 yards and 2 touchdowns. That guy's locked in to New England. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. 310-840-4910. Your calls, your texts all day long today. We've been on this Maxx Crosby saga situation, the dramatics surrounding Maxx Crosby and the Las Vegas Raiders. Crosby's one of the best defenders in the National Football League. Crosby's one of the most violent, feared bullies in the National Football League. I use bully in a positive context here. You need some of that on your roster. You need some of that in your franchise until it goes too far. Until you go from bullying guys on opposing teams, destroying opposing offensive lines, to destroying your own offensive line, and then hitting your quarterback at practice. That's what happened with Maxx Crosby on Friday. Busts through the Raiders' offensive line, and starting quarterback Kirk Cousins is dropped back to pass. Crosby hits him. Goes up, tackles him at the arm. Okay, well, hey, Max, maybe we don't do that, okay? Maybe we dial that back a little bit. This is training camp. He's your starting quarterback. You're not supposed to hit the guy in a red jersey. The red jersey's there to say, do not hit that guy. Don't touch the quarterback. Don't do that again. A couple plays later, Crosby busts through the line. What does he do? He hits Kirk Cousins again. And this turns into an altercation. Cousins is punished. Crosby is punished. Both the guys are suspended for Saturday's practice, meaning that Fernando Mendoza, the first overall draft pick, got to run with the ones. He got to be the guy. We had Jesse Holley, the former Dallas Cowboy, Mr. Fourth and Long, on the show in our first hour. And the question that I posed to Jesse was, hey, can dudes hit the quarterback? Are we allowed to? I mean, how out of bounds is it what Maxx Crosby did to Kirk Cousins on Friday? Here's what Jesse Holley had to say.
You learn this day one at training camp. They have the red jerseys on for a reason. It's do your work, be quick, be aggressive, but stay off the quarterback. And every now and again, I mean, when you have 270, 80-pound, 300-pound men, you know, all around, every now and again, you just so happen to run into the quarterback. And the coach reminds you, all the coaches remind you, stay up, stay off the quarterback, stay away from the quarterback. So to do it multiple times is almost a smack in the face to the rule of the red jersey by Maxx Crosby. There may be something deeper in that whole thing between he and Cousins, what have you. But, yeah, you learn that early on.
Crosby is doing this on purpose. Crosby wants to win. Crosby has talked about wanting to win. And the Raiders are not in a position to win with Kirk Cousins as the starting quarterback. Crosby's frustrated. This same guy got traded to the Ravens. He thought he was a Baltimore Raven for 3 days. You thought you were going to play with Lamar Jackson and go contend for a Super Bowl. Sorry, no, physical fell through. You're a Raider again. Oh, how crushing would that be? Hey, we're moving you from our Scranton, Pennsylvania office to our Bora Bora location. Yeah, I'm in. Sign me up. Let's go. Bora Bora, I'm headed your way. And then it falls through 3 days later. You're probably not very excited. But I think the Bora Bora option's still out there. I think Maxx Crosby at this point should be clear with the Raiders. None of this back and forth wishy-washy. I'm a Raider for life. Nope, none of that. Just be clear. Instead of going out and hurting the Raiders starting quarterback, just tell them, I don't want to be a Raider anymore, and accept the trade. Push the envelope, hold in, hold out. Maxx Crosby needs to play elsewhere in 2026. The Raiders experiment is not working, and I think the Dallas Cowboys might be the perfect spot. Jerry Jones is not going to shut the door on that. Here is Jerry Jones saying he's not going to close the door on Maxx Crosby being a member of the Dallas Cowboys.
Why did you walk away from Maxx Crosby when it fell apart with the Ravens and not revisit that then?
We didn't. No, no, because there's nothing more to elaborate about, but we did not walk away.
Didn't walk away. I think that Crosby, a fresh start somewhere else, is going to behoove the Raiders and going to behoove Maxx Crosby. The Dallas Cowboys sure as hell seem interested. It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. It's a Monday. Means it's time for Music Monday. Addie Bates has compiled 5 seconds of 5 songs. Drake Toll has to guess the song and the artist. Are we ready?
Drake Toll, are you ready?
Let's do it. Okay, wow. Oh, no. Song 1. Is that Here I Am? It's Rocky Like a Hurricane. It's not the song, but it's the band. Same band. Cinderella?
Yeah, Scorpions.
Scorpion. I think it's just, I think there's only one Scorpion, but close. Yeah. What's the name of the song?
It's Scorpions, and it's
Really?
Still Loving You.
Damn it. Okay, what's next? Is that and I'm back in Chicago?
No, it's Bad Habit by Steve Lacy.
Right,
It's
of
a
course.
banger.
We're just making up songs now at this point.
Laura
Steve
probably
Lacy's a
knows
real
it.
human being? All right.
Yes.
Laura, do you know it? Is that true?
I do know it. I do.
Wow. All right, song 3.
I will not.
Bare Naked Ladies.
I will not hurt myself.
Arctic Monkeys, Fluorescent Adolescent.
Of course. Now we're really making up songs. All right, song 4.
Times like these can make it on my own.
Who is that?
Whitesnake. Is
Wow.
this love?
Here I go again on my own.
But not that song. Is
White
this love?
Snakes. It's plural.
One snake. One snake.
Song 5, please.
Berry lipstick state of mind.
I hate this is the one that I know. It's Harry Styles, Watermelon Sugar High.
Well, it's Adore
Sugar
You.
is
It's
the-
Adore You. It's Adore You, but it's off of the same album, so I'll give you half a point for that.
I can't believe
That's
I did
okay.
this. I can't believe this. Laura, will you play the J.D. Vance one again, please?
Which one? What do you?
The one you just played. The one you just played.
I will
The
not
hurt
hurt myself.
Thank you. Thank you.
no,
That's all I
that's
wanted. Thank you.
Scatterbo.
That's all I wanted. To Armin Williams, Colin Jones. That's Cam Scatterbo. That's funny. That's funny. It sounds just like him. Armin Williams, Bruce Gilbert, Colin Jones, Ryan McGuire. Thanks for a job. Love you guys. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Addie Bates, Laura Jimenez. This has been, it always will be, the Drake Toll Show. I want Maxx Crosby, please.
This is Westwood One's